Hey, boys and girls, weather report for July 1st, 2021.
Well, yeah. I tell you, man, I'm feeling pretty down.
But it was just June, right? So
now it's July.
I don't get it.
Well, you know, I was doing fine until I saw this video about how the solar system's going to end. And now I just feel like it's all hopeless, man.
Yes, it is. So we have a whole lot of links in the description, and one of them is about the final age of the solar system on the SEA or C channel, and Scott provided that for us. And then we have another thing on a volcano in the Philippines.
That's what the brief description said on the
yeah, explosion likely, explosive. Oh, it's a thick one.
Yeah.
It's not the friendly Icelandic touristy one.
Yeah, I don't know what the lava's like there, but you know they have different thicknesses, different, and it could be just even they even have steam expansions that cause ash and debris to go up in the air and come down. So even if no lava's involved,
right,
it can get pretty nasty.
Okay, and then we have a iBiology video. iBiology, I don't know if everybody knows about this site, but it's a wonderful site that has a whole bunch of 1 hour, 2 and 3 part lectures on tons of biology and contemporary biology. And Bonnie Bassler has a thing on tiny conspiracies, which is bacteria getting together and communicating with each other. And these bacteria are evolutionists. And they get together and they have secret conspiracy talks, and they try to kill us. So you might want to check that out. And then what else we got here?
Everything's out to kill us, right? Even the Christians, they'd like to kill us.
Everyone wants to kill us. We are the most persecuted group in human history.
Yep. So the Atheist Handbook to the Old Testament, Dr. Josh and Megan Lewis on the study of antiquities and Middle Ages. Is that the channel?
That's the channel they were interviewing on. The channel they own, Dr. Josh and his wife Megan, is Digital Hammurabi, which is an awesome channel as well. But the study of antiquities and the Middle Ages is a great historic channel. Lots of good interviews, as well as 15-minute documentary-like exposés of different aspects of history, whether it be the Middle Ages or the Bronze Age collapse and things like that. It's a good channel. I recommend it to everybody.
Yep. And then we have, let's see, Praise did a 9-hour stream last night, which I talked a little bit about this morning when I did this I'm going to try to do these really short, rambling, not ready for prime time things in the morning.
Hey,
I'm going to call it morning brambles.
You know what I did for 9 hours last night?
What?
I slept.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they didn't.
Think about it, YouTubes. Think about it. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, and then let's see, we're going to go over a short little clip from Sal Cordova.
Who needs
on
sleep?
That after show where Sal with Dr. Dan V. Mad Ox. Oh, maybe I already put that in. I think I already put that in the description. Did I? I don't know what I did. I'm not sure what's happening, guys. Okay, what are we doing?
Losing it, guys.
Huh?
I said you're losing it. You're losing its speed.
Oh, I lost it.
You're undergoing genetic entropy.
I lost it a long time ago.
Yeah, that's been happening for a long time, Andrew. You didn't notice that?
Yeah. The first time my second wife told me I was losing it, I was 24 years old. So I've been hearing this all of my life.
It's a long time to be losing it.
Yeah, you think it would have all been lost, but I think that attests to how much I had originally.
It just may.
Yeah, because it's still not gone yet.
But I just want to say that you controlled your browser Tourette's really well.
Did I? Oh,
I
good.
didn't hear one foul word pretty much the whole time.
Well, fuck.
Well, there you go. All right.
Okay.
I guess I will never acknowledge your improvement ever again.
Yep. So I don't know where to start. We got a smorgasbord. Oh, I wanted to give a little update on mammary glands. Cell Cordova found something called Brandolini's law, and he's talking about it all the time in reference to us. And it's basically somebody says something, and then it takes you hours and weeks to research what they said in order to come back at them, right? And, well, right back at you, Cell, because you said this really stupid thing about a baby licking sweat off its mama's area and developing the mammary gland. So I've been reading a paper which has 148 papers that it refers to. So I've started going into the papers it refers to on mammary glands. And it turns out, and this is a little picture of basically where they think it all started 300 million years ago. And you get into, I mentioned it this morning, more about skin than you ever thought you would need to learn. Different scales and skin, hairs, feathers, and the development of all of those little epidermal, the surface of the animal parts, right? And layers, and all the different amounts of, there's all sorts of things to protect from moisture loss and heat, and to dissipate heat or to keep heat in. And there's all of these different structures. And then there's these secretory structures that ended up, they secrete proteins or oils of some kind, and it has an effect in mating. So it's like mating signals or signals between animals. It has effects in moisturizing skin and feathers and keeping dirt out, keeping bacteria out, all of that stuff. And then this was, there are a number of different parallel mechanisms that evolved to protect eggs, particularly parchment type eggs, which are leathery eggs like you'll see a turtle lay. Or something. I don't know if all turtles lay leathery eggs. I think they do. And reptiles. And anyway, so there's all sorts of secretions that nourish and protect those eggs from bacteria and moisture loss. And that's basically the source of this whole mammary system that ended up becoming a big thing in mammals. And it is a 320 million year journey through genetics, biochemistry, skin anatomy, development, embryology, and all of that. And
Devo.
So Brandolini's law is going to take me probably, I mean, if I actually ever complete this project, I'm guessing it would take me a month of just learning this stuff. So, but anyway, working on it, and I like this little chart here.
Was he using that law you mentioned in a negative way?
What's that? Yeah, Brandolini's law. He's saying that when we criticize him or say something or make a claim, it takes Cell months, weeks to research it, right? Well, it goes both ways. Every time Cell makes a claim, like the baby licking sweat off the mama's area, it's going to take me a month to tell him how this thing evolved, because he's claiming, it couldn't possibly have evolved. How would the baby live, if there was no sweat or whatever the hell he was saying? You heard what he said, right? How ridiculous it was.
Hey, can I direct your attention to Nestlig's question here on the screen?
I'm working on it, Nestlig. I'm working on it.
Okay, thank you.
I'm working furiously on it.
Do you think Do you think Sal's full of shit though? Does he really research that much of the things, comments that we've made? Or I don't know about that. I don't really
I think
see
he
him doing that,
researches.
but he could be.
He researches enough to rebuff us, to hold us off. He finds a paper or some idea that he thinks will basically counter us, and then we're done, right? And for us, we have to research the entire mechanism. So we've got a bigger job. Brandolini's law applies to us evolutionists far more than it does to Sal, because all he has to do is cherry pick a quote or come up with something that, this paper says it's impossible, or James Tour says it's impossible, and then he can be done with us. Whereas we have to give you the entire mechanism.
Right. That's basically what I was thinking exactly, that he doesn't do that much research. Not like what you do. Not the detail that you go into subjects.
Well, I think his research is more in the area of searching the index for mentions of Gödel's incompleteness theorem.
Yeah, he searches for that a lot. There's certainly, it's not in any of his books. We all know that.
Oh, yeah, not in any of the books.
I don't think they put it in any books. I think that's like a secret. You have to know a handshake and a secret password.
Okay,
Find that.
Did you see what Leo did?
I was just about to say that. Leo's rendition of that on Amy's channel was fantastic. That was a riot. I saw that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Wait,
let's see.
I didn't see that.
Oh, Leo, that was on Amy's stream, right? That he did it?
Oh,
yes.
I wasn't on Amy's stream.
Yeah, it was midnight ranting. So you were probably on F stream during that. Instead of sleeping like normal kids. Oh, okay. Normal kids sleep. You go on F stream.
Yeah. Speaking of Neff.
Oh no. Yeah. Go ahead. Tell us the news.
So I think we got the debate scheduled for Saturday.
I'm so sad for you.
Yeah. I know you are.
I am. It's a horrible thing. Oh no. Now what happened? God damn it. I'm having Tourette's again. Bear with me.
Apparently, I triggered it by putting too much pressure on you earlier.
Well, with that
Scott,
Nephroid,
gotta ease off the brakes, man.
that Nephroid comment, that was the straw that broke the camel's back here. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's that, and let's see what else. Well, this paper has a couple of cool things in it. It has a little glossary, which I thought was kind of neat. If I can find it again. Oh my god. Okay, Nobel. So that's Dennis Noble. Dennis Noble, that paper? Browser Tourette's. Okay, warning. Browser Tourette's coming on.
Oh, I also want to welcome Luca from the chat and thank you for wanting to watch my debate. It's probably not going to go very well.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah. I hope you translate it. That'd be cool to review.
Yeah. You mean a transcript on it?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry.
For the Neff debate?
Yeah, on Standing for Truth's channel.
Okay. It depends on whether if it's more than 2.5 hours, the only way to get a transcript is to download the video, break it in two, upload it to YouTube, wait for 2 days, and then they do the transcript. So, but I will try. I will certainly try.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm trying to find Noble, and to hell with it. I was going to show you some other pictures. In this paper by Oftedal or whatever, there is a really neat glossary of terms for mammalian evolution and a bunch of other things. And there are some other charts that are pretty interesting. But like I say, it links to 146 papers. So it's going to be quite a research project to look into, and I'm hoping that I can fly across it at 1,000 feet so I don't have to learn everything. But anyway.
Hey, Speed.
Yeah.
If we have time, maybe, because I know Brainbug's into a little bit into phylogenetics, maybe he can come on and we can just talk about it if we have some dry air.
That would be cool, yeah. That would be good. Also, Brainbug, I have 3 new bags of bugs that I collected. One of them still in the freezer.
Tell you, here in Texas, there's never any dry air. I don't even know what you mean.
Yeah. You got a lot of humidity down there?
Yeah, here in California. There's a lot of humidity in California. I don't know about Texas.
Yeah. Okay. Then put the headphones on. What else we got going? I'm just going to show this. But
now I saw where apparently in California rattlesnakes are moving into the cities because the drought's making them search for water.
Oh, that's not good. I hate rattlesnakes.
So when you go to work on your potted plants or clean your kids' kiddie pool, watch out.
Yeah.
This channel does not condone killing snakes.
Oh, I don't know. There's I'm right by the Minnesota River, and about, 25, 30 years ago, a rattlesnake came up on one of the barges and killed a little kid. So we had a rattlesnake attack in Minneapolis, for Christ's sake.
Oh.
But I mean, how unlucky do you got to be to get bit by a rattlesnake in Minnesota?
Yeah.
Wow.
I've also heard, I don't know where I've heard it from. I swear it was one of these streams that aren't the rattles on rattlesnakes getting quieter?
Oh, no.
Because basically they get killed by humans if
they rattle. Yeah. So in Minnesota, we have something called a gopher snake, which coils up just like a rattlesnake. It has markings like a rattlesnake, and it strikes at you like a rattlesnake, but it has no teeth and it has no venom. And it wiggles its tail in a pile of leaves, and it actually rattles. So it simulates a rattlesnake. It's really cool. Called the gopher snake. My cat had one out in the backyard, a baby, and he didn't know what to make of it because it was standing up like a cobra and striking at him. And I went out there, it's like, holy shit, is that a rattlesnake? And I'm like, because I am by the Minnesota River, and I heard that story, and I'm like, oh my God. And then I went and looked it up, and it turns out we used to have a lot more gopher snakes. Now all we have is gardener snakes that I know of, but we have a few of them. But anyway, and then a few weeks later, he brought one in the house, which I was really unhappy about.
I want to give my condolences to Walker in the side chat. Apparently, his millipede died, and I know that can be awfully destructive.
Such a sad loss. I'm sorry, Walker.
It is. And have we found out why Cerberus Hex is a closeted Christian?
Oh, maybe we'll find that clip.
But what does that mean?
Just keep watching, Cerberus.
Yep.
And
I was going to say,
we may discover that.
What does that mean exactly?
Oh, I don't know. Somebody said something about him on Praise's stream last night. They were talking about us, and then they started talking about Cerberus. And they were going off on how much time we spend attacking Christians. And I was trying to point out that we spend 2 hours a day, and they spend, on just one stream alone, Praise's channel, they spend 9 hours a night attacking us. Or at least 2 hours of that 9 hours. It's atheist this, atheist that.
Hey, you know what I do for 9 hours every night?
You sleep.
I fucking sleep. Think about that, inner tubes.
Because you take, what do you take, a date rape drug? And
I do not. Do not start that. Do not start that rumor.
Don't forget, Scott, though, a lot of people in this community, that everybody's spread out throughout all over the place. So everybody's time zones are all different. And, you get a lot of people from Europe that are in total
Right.
50 time zones, and
Okay,
so that's why. Yeah.
we want to clarify this. Scott takes GABA, not gabapentin.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
okay. I was confused earlier, so I don't know. Okay, I was going to play a little clip. Is that okay?
That's absolutely okay.
Yes.
Oh, so you're gonna is this from yesterday?
Yeah, we were going off on this one yesterday. So.
Oh, okay. So I thought, what? Because when you told me, I asked you if Danny was there yesterday, and you said, yeah, he was here for a minute, and then I went looking for it, and I couldn't find it, and then finally I scrubbed the video, and I seen where he popped up, and then like immediately popped away.
Yeah, Danny was here for a short time. He had to go. He had another appointment. I think that's it. Is that why he left the stream so quickly?
I think that was it.
Yeah. That's the ticket. But I knew as soon as he said that's all, I was like, oh yeah, well, if that's all.
Yep. Okay, I'm playing. This is from the other day, the Seigart James Downard after debate.
Okay. So the entire
Whoops! What is wrong? Something's wrong. Not for you guys, but for
so
me.
the entire point that's being made that Sai is making in this is that you don't have that environment in the abiogenesis discussion. So to use things like you're using as examples to somehow circumvent the necessities that Dr. Gard's referring to,
John,
I mean, that's like,
do you
how does
think
that make any
anything
sense?
alive today is representative of the first replicator?
Okay, there's the question that he asked. Okay.
Do you
Then
think
you're gonna
anything
hear-
alive today is something about the first replicator?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're going to hear, that's what you're going to hear.
Yeah, so the question is, and it's the same that we've been trying to ask Otangelo, or trying to explain to Otangelo, that the original translation mechanism for proteins was not the ribosomes you see today. The original replicators were not the replicators you see today. So that was the question. But I don't think John understood it right away. And that was kind of interesting. And it was even more interesting how he reacted to it. So
I think that the recognized components
I'm asking what
for
you think.
DNA replication, they're pretty well established. That you have to have
I'm
them
asking-
pretty much from the beginning.
That wasn't the question. I'm asking what you think. Do you think that anything that exists today in biological systems is representative of the first replicator?
If we're when what are we saying in reference to replicator? Are you talking about a
Any
RNA
molecule
strand
that is
that
capable of self-replication, the first replicator.
So that could be a lipid droplet. It could be
Could
rep
be
RNA.
whatever the most ancestral replicator is. John, do you think anything that exists today replicates, let me be more specific, replicates through the same mechanism as that thing?
Do I think that the earliest form of life? Well, in my opinion, you can't have any kind of replication that we're observing today without a minimum of factors, and I'm not the only one that says that. So I'm not really sure. It seems to
Still
me
not
like
answering the question.
well, it seems to me. Well, I'm answering your question, which is you're trying to come up with a hypothetical that doesn't really have any relevance to the plausibility of the overall question at hand.
Just speculation.
So
I can always come up with some kind of a hypothetical.
I mean, you could just say, yes, cells were created de novo, therefore the first replicators or something that resembles them still exists.
I'm not even going to that factor. I'm going to the basics of the recognized transcription translation factors and replication factors that we know are necessary in everything that we observe. And even if you're going down to those basics.
what the hell factor? I'm not in. What is the? I'm not even going to that factor. I'm going to the factors. Factor. Fuck.
And Dr. Gart was referring to this in the paper from Eugene Koonin, because Koonin is talking about this. But he doesn't think that those factors are. It's plausible for those. Like, how do we possibly account for these things? Because the improbabilities are so nuts that
probabilities.
Dan.
Well, Eugene Koonin is the one that brought up the improbabilities, not me. So are you saying that Eugene Koonin shouldn't have used probabilities in his paper?
Yeah, I don't buy probability arguments because
So as a peer of Dr. Koonin, you're publicly stating that his arguments about the improbabilities, and hey, we probably need a multiverse to account for this. You're publicly stating that he didn't know what he was talking about.
No, I'm disagreeing with his arguments. Those are two different things. Don't put words in my mouth, John.
Why?
I was asking you.
Nice.
You dismissed probability. So I'm asking you.
He's dismissing the form of analysis that Kuhn is using in this particular context.
I don't
But let
find
me ask you
probability
something else,
arguments
Dan.
that say the probability of complex thing X happening is so low that it cannot happen, because those probability arguments often ignore a bunch of evolutionary mechanisms that are operating or would have been operating at the time those systems first appeared.
Okay.
And that's basically the point to make.
The point that's literally being made. The point that's literally being made is that you don't have the evolutionary factors you're referring to. You know, let's do where the Dr. Gart was talking about, and that multiple other people in biologists are making.
See, John,
you
this
don't
is the
have those
conversation
factors to work
that we
with.
were having before you decided to interrupt. We were having a nice conversation about this exact thing, which was
Yeah, I want to jump in.
Please, Si, go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, I think that was about it, right?
I'm over here with a muted mic on. Foreskin.
Oh,
Yeah, like it's so sad to me to hear a Christian, and especially a Christian like John Maddox, bringing up an argument from improbability. Like, okay, so over here you
right.
over here you have a mountain of evidence and proven facts about evolution. Over here you have a bunch of people that say there's a God. That's all there is. I mean, there's a God that did everything. That's the entirety of their argument.
Yeah.
He wants to talk about improbability.
And we have to remember that right after this, or after Dan left, Maddox talked about how Dan always picks fights with him or whatever. I can't remember exactly what he said, but it was so ironic to me.
It sounds to me like what Dr. Dan was doing was was attempting, in I thought was a reasonable way, to educate John Maddox.
Yep.
And John Maddox does not want that.
Well, and he was asking an honest question. He was not getting an answer. And the reason he didn't get an answer is because John legitimately did not understand the question. He could have said, I don't understand the question. But instead of that, he starts going off on factor.
I don't think Maddox understands a lot of questions.
Yeah. So, but anyway, Immutable mentioned what a great conversation he had with him. And if you go back and listen to Immutable, the one thing I don't think Immutable did was ask John a lot of questions, and or press him. Now, the way to piss Maddox off is to ask him a question like, "Can you link that paper that you're talking about?" Or "What is the name of that paper?" Or ask him any question, and he will go off on you, and it gets real sad right away, because I think he must have had a bad experience in like 7th grade or something, where they asked him a question and he didn't know the answer and he was embarrassed. I don't know what his problem
What
is.
it was, this is what happened, is the teacher asked him a question. He wanted, and they were doing that thing where if whoever answers a question walks up to the front of the room to explain to the whole class, and he had a hard on at the time, and so he got embarrassed.
Yeah, and she called him Lil Pee-Pee.
Right, yeah, because somebody said, "Hey, you got a Tic Tac in your pants." He's like,
Okay.
"No."
Anyway.
All right, yeah.
Okay, it's children's show. It's a children's show, John.
I'm sorry, Andy.
Either that or
We'll all lose our family rating.
his father may have hit him on the nose with a paper, maybe, or something. That maybe is what it is.
Hey, did
That's why he
you
gets so upset about papers. Yep. Go ahead.
could you, Speed, go look at that and see what it was you had said that caused Danny to comment what he commented and we were talking about earlier?
Yeah, you on the new atheism thing?
Right, yeah, where you had said something about hating science and hating sex, and speaking of Christians, or speaking of some subset of Christians.
Yeah, basically, I have the opinion that Western thinking has primarily been sculpted by Christianity to hate nature, to hate material, to hate the flesh. And that's not something you'll find in Eastern religion, but you'll find it in Western religion. And I'm pretty sure I've read a whole lot of stuff when I was a teenager that indicated that may well be the case. And Danny was saying, "Oh, this must be some new atheism stuff." No, it has nothing to do with atheism. It has to do with Western culture. So, I don't know.
And
Okay.
or Speed, I think, like, I'm not saying you do have a bias, but like, I just think you have to keep in mind that maybe there is or is not a bias towards Eastern thought, because I know you're a Buddhist, so I just feel like you should keep that in mind. Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, well, it's sort of different mindsets and other cultures besides Western. Okay, I don't necessarily have to pick out Eastern cultures. I could pick out any tribal culture. Doesn't have the same crazy obsession with sex, sin, and flesh as Westerns do. But Leo says I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm wrong, Leo. So heavily influenced, but yeah, it was heavily influenced by a lot of things.
Leo, I think you spelled dude wrong.
Yeah, but I think he meant
I'm
to.
just kidding.
But it being heavy, I mean, can anybody deny that Western thought was influenced by Christianity?
Maybe more generally, just monotheism in general.
I mean, yeah, Christianity. I would, or the way Andrew just put it. But like, I had not a debate, but we had a conversation about this. I did a panel discussion about it. And my contention was that as far as Western civilization goes, it was more influenced by the ancient Greeks than it was by Christianity. And then Christianity probably added the negative things that you were talking about, Speed. But as far as the whole of Western civilization, I think it was much more influenced by ancient Grecian society.
Yeah, I think maybe, like, to me at least, maybe it influenced the early history of it, and some of those aspects kind of bled into Christianity. And I don't know, I'm not a historian by any stretch.
Yeah. Well, we'd have to get a historian in to talk about it.
Hey, if you want a historian, a great historian to call in would be
RJ?
Dr. Misha Griffith.
Oh, really? Misha Griffith.
You don't know who she is?
Nope.
Oh, you'd love her if you met her. She teaches at a college, and she's a historian. Her and her husband have a YouTube channel called it's called History Unsettled.
History Unsettled. Cool. Yeah. So anyway, they probably know more about what I'm talking about. My opinion is, half anecdotal and half from, what I read when I was reading about this crap as a teenager. So I have an opinion. Sue me.
Right. I wasn't saying your opinion's wrong, Speed. I was just saying we all have biases, and we just have to keep them in mind when we think. That's all I was saying.
Yeah, and I have a heavy bias because at the same time I was reading about all of that. I was reading about it through Eastern writers of Eastern religion. So yeah, I have that bias, definitely. So, but
oh, sorry.
Just because it's a bias doesn't mean it's wrong.
Yeah, true. Yeah. My dogs are getting antsy, so I'm gonna go feed them real quick. But be back in like 5 minutes.
Okay, we're gonna do some praise stuff, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was what. I also wanted to talk a little bit about answers in atheism, and I'm not sure if I have my clip yet, but Top Dog, did you send that?
He stepped away, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't. I didn't hear him step away.
Should I share the what Maddox wrote in the side chat? Earlier today, he wrote you guys can talk a big game. He says, how much do you want to bet I can destroy you in a vocabulary challenge?
Okay.
So yay, okay.
Okay.
Let's both get a dictionary and we'll look shit up. Right.
So what were some of the things that he threw out in the challenge?
so that was what he wrote. Well, I think you know how he is. He basically calls everybody an idiot, and everybody's an idiot if they don't come to his conclusions, right? I mean, that's typical Maddox, right? So I think people are like I wrote. I'm so blessed to be in the presence of the smartest YouTuber on, that was what I wrote to him because I'm always needling him about that. And then let's see, and then so
yeah, where did he go? Yeah.
Yeah, so then he wrote, I'll bet you I can destroy you with the vocabulary challenge. And then I wrote, the question is, can you put together a sentence? Right. Yeah. So then after that, I said, then after that, a few other people were chiming in. So he was talking to me and several other people. And so then he writes after that, he says, well, make it easy. How about if we take the SATs? Oh, well, let's get together and challenge the SAT test. And I mean, what a joke.
So have you ever, I was just going to say, have you ever heard John Maddox use a $25 word and you just want to ask him, hey, could you define that word, John?
Yeah.
He probably doesn't even know what they mean.
Yeah. Typical Maddox.
Check out the comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Good Maddox.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Anyway,
I wish we could upvote an individual chat.
Yeah, I wish we could too.
So, yeah, I don't know what it is about my phone, but you go to look for screenshots and you can't find them. You got to go through the whole fucking menu even to find.
Oh yeah, it's impossible.
The place where it is, I go to the fucking gallery, it's not there. But anyway, because I had screenshot that shit from earlier. Yeah, you had said that about the, hating sex and hating science. And then Danny immediately responded, wow, this is some new atheist shit.
Yeah, what does that have to do with new atheists?
And then he quoted you and he says, they hate nature, they hate sex.
Yeah, they do. That's why they're obsessed with what everybody else is doing in the bedroom.
And then later, oh, shit. There's something in the way. I took a screen pic and there's fucking bullshit in the way. There it is.
I'd like one of them to come in and tell me what exactly sins are they talking about. When they say atheists just want to sin, what are they talking about?
Yeah, when atheists don't believe in the concept of sin. So,
okay.
And they are probably mostly sexual, like you say, but I think they're referring to everything pretty much. But mostly sexual.
Oh, and I'm sorry, and I just had one more thing on that, then I'm done. And then he also commented when you were saying that letting Sal teach kids would be child abuse.
Yeah. He didn't like that part, and I stick with that because that's primarily what I was interested in. So, but
you remember that time that you pinned down on Tangelo with that, right? That same question about sin, and you asked on Tangelo, I'm a 7-year-old man. What could I possibly do that's sinning, or And on Tangelo, of course, wouldn't answer you, right? He didn't give you an answer as usual, but.
We got a female. Maybe Danny can tell us what sin is.
And that's why
What sin is? It's just what goes against God's commands or something, right?
No. What when they say that?
Was I not in the middle of a fucking sentence?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Danny, you would deign to let me go ahead.
Okay, go ahead, John. Finish, please, so that I can say something.
Speed. I'll come back when the room's not so crowded.
Okay.
I can leave so you can stay if you want, John.
Fuck you, Danny.
Okay, so Danny, when they say that atheists just want to sin, what sins are they talking about? Can somebody give me some examples of some sins that we might do, that we want to do? What are they talking about?
Well, I used to think that as a Christian too. Usually it's always having to do with sexual sins, like pornography,
Right.
That kind of stuff, right?
Okay, so if we don't have that, what are the other sins? There's got to be some other sins.
Well, there's like foul language. A lot of Christians think of that. So like you can say what you want to anyone. You don't have to turn the cheek.
Okay.
Yeah, thinking lustful thoughts, right? Lustful thoughts.
Yeah, I think that ties in with the sexual stuff, right?
Yeah.
I do occasionally get some thoughts about Uma Thurman I'm not going to share. But anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say on foul language, I just want to make a comment. There are two kinds of foul language. There's a kind that the actual 10 Commandments talk about, using the Lord's name in vain, Jesus Christ, God damn it, all that stuff, right? And then there's the other words, fuck, whatever, and that's considered foul language. How did those words end up being collected with the original using the Lord's name in vain language?
Well, that's a good point, but I think that there's a lot of bad interpretations of that text. The best interpretations of using the Lord's name in vain that I liked as a Christian, that a lot of like very few Christians take this interpretation, is when you do something and endorse your action under the name of God when the action is sinful. That's your
okay.
So if you like cast, if you summon spirits in the name of Jesus, you're using it in vain. But I don't think that's quite now not being a Christian, right? That's not that clear to me, that interpretation. I don't know if it has that much support, but I never thought that if someone said, "Oh, Jesus, man, Jesus Almighty had saved me," if I something like that, like, then okay. I'm right there with you.
Okay, and that bleeds into what I was saying about Western thought. This basically emotive words or swearing is actually done with a different part of your brain than the part that we use for language. The right side of your brain is more, on most people, is more heavily engaged in emotive swearing type, swearing, emotive talking, that sort of thing. And there's this pushback against anything emotive. And that's one of the reasons why when somebody says, fuck you to you, it comes from a more aggressive, emotive part of the human language system, right? Than a regular word of saying, I disapprove of you. So yeah, fuck you has a bunch of, and that's also why it makes us laugh, because it sets off this little epileptic seizure called laughter, basically. I mean, it's some really interesting neuroscience behind all of that. But anyway, so, okay, back to sin. So I'm thinking of it, okay, I'm 70 years old, so sexual sins are pretty much out of the picture. So what's left for me to sin about? What am I? And I don't drink because I'm an alcoholic and I'm sober.
A lot of Christians think that, like, in terms of like what you're, well, I guess a lot of it ties to the sex, but like, think about like TV shows and movies and media.
Yeah,
it's not just pornography. It's exposing yourself to like insane amounts of violent really? Video games. But, I'm kind of just spitballing here. I don't know.
Okay.
It's whatever is taboo or the consensus of the churches and stuff.
So
whatever they think is guilty or makes people guilty.
But when was the last time you were called out for being an atheist because, like, you wanted to do all these sorts of things? Like, it's been,
pretty much every night on Praises Channel, they mention us atheists, right? Yeah. And then they mentioned me somewhere along the line. You guys did it last night. So
yeah. But they just use sin. They don't.
Last night.
They're never specific about.
We never said anything like, they're just atheists.
No, you didn't.
They want to do sin or something like that.
No, but Darth Dawkins said it about 2 hours earlier, and he was talking about atheists in general. And then they consider us, this little group on Speed of Pudding's gang or whatever. They consider, they were talking about it. It's like we're the atheists that want to sin, apparently. So I'm just wondering. I mean, nobody's called me out personally.
I've heard Darth say that stuff.
Oh yeah, I heard it just this morning.
But sometimes I admit, like, hey, yeah, I think that like my sexuality definitely factored into my deconversion. I don't know to what extent, but I'm fine with. I don't really. Okay, so people, it goes both ways. People convert for non-rational reasons, and people deconvert for non-rational reasons. I don't really see a big deal coming from my own point of view, right? Like. People go to Christianity because they feel hope, right? Is that a justification? People leave Christianity because they feel harmed. Is that a justification? Or they want to have sex, you know? They feel constrained, right? To me, it's like, I think you should, if you're gonna criticize people for leaving Christianity on account of like wanting to sin, right, quote unquote, then I think you should be just as critical for Christians that enter the religion for wanting to have a sense of hope, because anything could do that. Buddhism could do that, right? I think the idea is that the criticism only goes one way.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It just sort of irritates me because it's like I don't consider in fact, part of recovery in alcoholism is a real strong remodeling of your behavior so that you don't do things like covet, get angry, hold resentments, all of that stuff. So I'm practicing a program of doing just the opposite of what they say. And then when they say, oh, I'm an atheist because I want to sin, I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I know what they're talking about, but I just think very few people leave Christianity or leave
because they want to sin.
Right. Because they want to sin. I think there are, of course, there's some, right?
Yeah, it would be kind of
the younger you are, the more likely you look at Christianity and find out, oh, I can't have sex before marriage. No, thank you, right? Like, I mean, that probably happens. Okay, so what is the criticism? Is the criticism that you should only adopt a view if you're justified in the view? Well, then you got a big problem on your hands, Mr. Christian, because millions of people go to Christianity on account of non-rational reasons, right? So you just have a double standard.
Yeah, that would be the most honest and best way to go to Christianity, is to go for the spirituality, that feeling.
Yeah,
that sense of mind.
But that's not a justification. So what's the big deal?
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so
hello. Well, the big deal is that they're trying to put it in law. They think that the religion is actually true and stuff, so they try to force it onto others.
Yeah.
Well, truth is overrated, but whatever.
Yep. Okay, I was going to share that video from last night. I think you were there, Danny.
Yeah, I think I was. I showed him a video of you. And did you see the video of Sidney Winston? That guy's insane.
I don't think Sidney's insane. I think he
said I was a pedophile in that video.
Well, I think he was fucking with you.
No, he wasn't.
He was not.
He didn't know how to respond to Danny's argument, so he was trying to dismiss it as if Danny was just being a pedophile.
I don't know. I think he was fucking with him. I don't know.
No. That guy just is a fucking dipshit. Doesn't know anything about anything.
Too.
Yeah. Like, yeah, this isn't the first time he's done this stuff.
I think he's funny. I don't know.
I don't. I think he's a fucking idiot.
You think it's funny when
just like you used to think Will Kincaid was funny, you don't think that anymore. It's the same with Sidney Winston. He's not much better.
I still think Will Kincaid is a hoot. I mean, as comedians go, I would watch him in stand up. No,
I don't think he's a comedian.
You thought it was funny that when he said that I supported pedophilia, you think that's funny?
No, it was a bad. I mean, it was like okay. Granted, I don't know where the fuck he was going with that or where he got it, but he just didn't. He wanted you to. I don't know. He could have made the case that children are not Christians because they don't really know what the hell they're committing to, but he didn't do that.
Which is false anyway.
Yeah, and I said, and you can include. I mean, it doesn't matter, but as long as you say it's a bad joke, if you think he's joking, I'm fine.
How can a child be a Christian? Who's Matt? Who, Matt?
I don't know who Matt is. There's somebody in the side chat.
Don, that's. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no evidence when atheists say there's no God. They're only saying it because they're angry at God. It makes no sense. Or common sense tells us that there's a God, that kind of stuff. And I know I've read a couple of those because it's moving.
Is that the guy?
Matt, is that you?
Matt's the
Hello?
Is this the non-believers are idiots?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, is that you? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they're idiots except when they're not, right?
No, they're idiots all the time unless they change.
What do you mean by idiot?
They believe in fairy tales, imaginary things.
What imaginary things do atheists believe in? Atheists reject believing in imaginary things.
The science
textbook. What science textbook? What is a science textbook? I mean, are you
Oh,
talking
boy.
like
You know
an
about it in
introductory?
school.
Are you
I don't
talking
need
like
to
an
explain it to
introductory
you.
textbook in biology?
You know
Are
about
you
it in
talking like a
school. I don't need
graduate
to explain
textbook
it
in
to you.
quantum
You
mechanics?
know about it in
Like
school.
I don't
don't need
know
to
what I
explain it
have
to
no
you.
idea. So you don't
You
know what
about
you
it in
yourself are
school.
saying.
I don't need to explain it to you. You
So
believe in a
you
science. You believe in fake
know what you
science.
yourself are saying.
You
You
believe in
can't
fake
Leo,
explain what you're
come
saying.
on, let him talk. Let him
Well,
talk.
I'm sorry. I thought I was
No, no,
getting
no. I
overtalked.
don't
But
care
once
about
again,
what
I'm
you
the only
say,
one that can ever
atheist. Your
overtalk
life
other
has no
people. But if I get
value,
overtalked,
okay?
it's never
You're
a
going
fucking problem.
inside the snake to be tortured, all right?
I have no idea what that means.
What did you say
Exactly,
about
because you don't study religion.
Did you say?
Yeah, I do.
Did you say a snake was being tortured?
No,
Yeah, he's
atheists, when atheists die, they go inside the snake that circles the earth.
Yeah, he's the
To be
one.
Oh
tortured.
God,
I have no idea
it's
what
that
dude.
math. Okay, it's that math.
Yes, I tried to tell you that. I
Wait,
tried
was
to
he
tell
the
you
guy that
that.
went on Pine Creek's show?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think he talked on Pine
yeah.
Creek as well.
He's
That
been
seems like
all
a
over the
waste of
place.
time.
He's
Oh,
been
fuck
everywhere.
So
I mean,
Okay.
atheists get eaten by the world serpent. Is that what he's saying?
Yeah.
yeah. He did some video and he's got a picture of the earth and he says it's a snake and it's above and whatever in the atmosphere and it's going to eat us all up. He did a whole thing on Matt Dillahunt. He's going to go into the evil snake or whatever the hell he calls it.
Well, I tell you what's in orbit that's going to get us is all that space junk.
Yeah.
God, I don't even think we have to play any clips today. We got a full room, and I got like 2 or 3 people that are trying to come in.
Yeah,
And,
I do think we need to get to why people think that Cerebus Hex is a closet Christian.
Okay, so weenie out, TJump, sidebar. We are evolving. God, but where was it? I think it was right after the SOS stuff. Let's see. How SOS accesses debates. You do understand I was fucking with you, Danny, and I never watched your TJump debate.
Oh,
So-
That's not true.
What?
You watched the debate. We did a stream on it.
On TJump with Danny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can
Did
you
we?
hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you.
How much did we play of it?
You made an entire. Well, I just remember you made a whole stream about it because I made a thumbnail for it, and you said that Danny lost because you didn't like his facial expressions.
Yeah, you did say
I don't think I made a whole stream about it.
Yeah,
Yes,
it was
did.
only.
I made a
think it
thumbnail
was only
for
a
it.
few minutes.
Whatever.
I thought.
I don't. It's fine whether you were joking or not. I don't really care. It's
I was
okay.
joking. Anyway,
I know. I'm just referencing that. That's what the stream was titled TJump versus Danny, and I made a thumbnail for it.
What did you debate TJump on?
Mind stuff.
It's sidebar.
okay.
I'll say that Danny won that debate just because I don't like TJump.
You don't like TJump? That's surprising.
I was a big fan of him, but lately he seems to be having some very like alt-right conservative type opinions that he's
That's why you don't
vouching
like
for. Well, I'm disappointed in him because he's had some very bad arguments. I think when TJump is arguing for atheism versus theism or in favor of science, I think he does a great job. I think he's an incredible debater. But when it comes to arguing issues of like transgender people and the super straight thing, I think he just puts his foot in his mouth.
Yeah,
he did an awful job of arguing it.
Yeah, I
think
think he lost pretty badly to Vosh.
Okay, this is going to be great because are you going to the Faithless Forum?
He didn't lose to Vosh. Vosh didn't win that. That wasn't even a debate. I don't know what it was. Vosh just like raped him from behind the whole time.
So, are you going to Faithless Forum, AJ?
I don't know. The website doesn't even say who the speakers are yet.
Because if you are, TJump's going to be there, and I'm thinking like wet t-shirt mud wrestling or some fucking thing between you and TJump, and we can film this shit and we could do a great stream. Anyway, it'll be fun.
What I dislike about TJump is like even like the most
All right.
sophisticated.
Hey, I'd like to point out that's sinning. Okay, right
Yep.
there. What you're thinking about, that's
Mud wrestling?
That's lust. Yep, that's lustful thinking. And that's
Danny, was
what
it me or
we're
were you
trying
in the
to
middle
talk
of
about.
saying something?
So I'm
It's
sorry.
fine.
I'm sorry for interrupting, but I just had
I
to
interrupt
put that
people,
out
I just,
I'm sorry.
Well,
I didn't
I interjected and Speed cracks down with a hammer, but people interject
Well,
on me
we've
or on
all-
Danny, and it's okay. It's fine.
We've
I just
only
don't get
both,
that.
Sure, we've all
I do.
evolved from mud wrestlers in a way, haven't we? Lungfish.
Well, I like
you know.
Lori. You can interrupt me anytime. Speed,
Yeah.
however, is you know.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
Sorry. I
Okay.
had to put that out there, though.
What were you saying, Danny?
Oh, there have been the thing about TJump's channel. What I do like about it is that he brings in really intelligent, professional thinkers, whether that be philosophers, scientists, whatever, theologians, and but every time they point out he makes a mistake, even outside of the religion stuff, right? He just he doubles down on his claim, and it's just
Yeah, TJump, he can't. It's impossible for him to admit that he might be wrong, or even if he might have misspoken or made a mistake during a debate, he'll simply say that no, I'm right about this, and I'm smarter than you. I literally know more than you about every topic. Like, he says stuff like that sometimes.
Well, I listened to 40 minutes of that Richard Brown TJump debate, and I could understand where Tom was coming from, and I had a little trouble understanding what Professor Brown was trying to tell him. And anyway, we could get into that later.
I don't know. I mean, TJump did I thought he did a pretty good job of listening to my criticism on his debate.
Yeah. But, you know, I think I was only like 40 minutes in, and it's 3 hours long. So it's quite a commitment. So
yeah, I was more talking about during the heat of a debate, which, you know, I can understand that. And like when TJump, when he understands his own position really well, and when he's got good arguments to back it up, like I think that he beat LPP worse than anybody I've seen beat him in a debate.
Except for Erica.
That's true. But you know, I just think when it comes to like moral issues or issues about civil rights, like or social issues like Black Lives Matter or All Lives Matter versus All Lives Matter, or, you know, issues of transgender rights, I just don't think that he does a very good job debating those topics.
I don't think that he
keep in mind that
properly
TJump
defensible positions.
Yeah,
TJump lives right in the middle. They probably burned his coffee shop down during that riot. So I mean, he lives right in the middle of that. I've noticed that people that live right in the middle of that downtown or uptown area frequently have some pretty bad opinions about what happened last summer. Anyway, hard to say.
I don't think that you should let an anecdotal experience influence your politics in a strong way. Like I have somebody that I knew since elementary school, a woman named Lauren Bump, who was killed by an illegal immigrant. She came home from dentist school to San Antonio, and she was jogging in a park, and she got stabbed to death by an illegal immigrant. But that
Molly Tibbetts?
No,
I don't know how many of you remember Molly Tibbetts in Iowa was killed by an undocumented immigrant.
Yeah,
which the funny thing is, people will point to these one-off, anecdotal, not really anecdotal, but these one-off statistical outliers, while ignoring the demonstrable fact that undocumented immigrants commit less crime than native-born American citizens or like legal immigrants.
Yeah, and my point was just that you know, obviously that upset me, but that doesn't mean that I was gonna go and support Trump's fucking border wall and you know protest against undocumented immigrants coming in the country, because I think that would be an emotional response and it would be an irrational thing to do. So I don't know if that makes sense, but
this is a total side note, but all those statistics saying that undocumented immigrants commit less crime completely leave out the crime of entering illegally.
Yeah.
But they don't generally enter illegally.
South Dakota is
they don't. They generally come in through asylum seeking. Before you can claim asylum, you have to already be on U.S. soil. So coming onto U.S. soil to then seek asylum can't be illegal if that's the legal thing you have to do to get asylum, and that's the path that most undocumented immigrants take. So no, they're not.
There's no evidence that that's the case, though.
Yes, there is. DHS data shows that.
Most of
two-thirds of the immigrants come as asylum seekers. They are coming the legal way. Yes.
Yeah, I didn't mean to derail.
It's also worth mentioning that if we go back to the 1910s and 1920s, all y'all's ancestors didn't have their fucking papers before they came here. They were undocumented immigrants. Oh, but they were white from Europe, so it's okay.
Well, that was before
Yeah.
the system, and also my ancestors lived here
Before what system?
for the immigration system we have now.
No, they had immigration systems back then. We had
Oh yeah,
immigration
the
systems in
different one that we
1800.
have now.
Of course, most of our systems are different. That doesn't vitiate anything that I just said.
Well, yeah, I think he's talking about in the 1960s how there was a bill that passed to favor. I could have the year wrong, but to favor immigrants from white countries. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but
I don't know if it was in the 60s, but I know that there was some time in the 1900s somewhere that a bunch of staunch conservative racist pieces of shit bigots decided, oh no, we got to favor white people coming from Europe, not these dirty brown savages coming up from the southern through the southern border.
You know what I'm referencing, but I'll say that most, I think, undocumented immigrants come not even crossing the border, but they come over in planes, and then they simply allow their visa to expire.
That's how most undocumented immigrants become undocumented. Is they
this
overstay their visas.
This is why most undocumented immigrants aren't asylum seekers.
Well, most undocumented immigrants crossing the border, which is what I said, are seeking asylum.
Well,
most
just talking about
undocumented immigrants in the United States actually did come here legally, and they just overstayed their visas.
Can never tell.
Yeah, but the statistics on crime deal with undocumented immigrants, not just ones that cross the southern border.
Of course.
Yeah,
but we can also differentiate.
Which is why what I was saying was true, and what you were saying doesn't really follow.
Actually, what you're saying, because if we consider what you're saying, most undocumented immigrants in general come here legally and then overstay their visas. So your claim that most of them are breaking the law coming here is not true if they're coming here legally and they're only undocumented because they're overstaying their visas. So no matter which way you slice this, what you said actually is wrong.
And
Okay.
Staying here. We can find that staying here illegally. Breaking the law. They exclude that.
I don't see that as breaking the law. A human being seeking a better life shouldn't be illegal, and I don't judge morals or ethics based on legality because we all know why. I mean, it was illegal to harbor slaves if they were escaping at one point, even though we all know that was the ethical thing to do. So it can be illegal. I don't care. It's ethical for them to be here. They're just trying to seek a better life. Right. And I think the only reason, the funny thing is actually, and I don't know, I know this was true in 2013. I don't know if it's true now, but there were more Canadians that overstayed their visas than any other. Canadians and Germans were actually the top two that overstayed their visas back in 2013. But nobody ever bitched about that. Why? Because they were white.
Well, I'm not even saying anything about ethics. I'm just saying why the statistics are wrong because they leave out.
Well, they're not wrong.
Okay, well, they leave out these crimes.
Okay, you can find the statistics and show me where the methodologies are flawed.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, we'll look up some statistics and then Speed can get his stream back on track and we can talk about this in a moment.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, South Dakota is sending the National Guard to the southern border.
In an unconstitutional action, yes.
The southern border of the southern border of South Dakota or the southern border of USA?
We're trying to clear that up. We're trying to clear that up.
Well, no, she's sending them to the southern border of the United States, which is unconstitutional. She doesn't have the power to do that.
It was a joke, Leo. Okay, so anyway, I thought that was interesting. They're sending, apparently some private guy is paying to have 48 of them, I think, sent down to the border to stop what I don't know what. The most threatening thing that I've ever seen anybody do who came from Mexico is roof a house real fast.
Yeah, and I always say to all these Trumpists, we've got all these Mexicans and Central and Southern Americans out in Oregon and Washington and California right now in 100-something odd degree heat picking berries. Why don't you white Trumpists go out there and do that then? Right. You got all those jobs for you white people. Why don't you go out there and do it? You won't. That's why they're here.
Wait, come on. Almost
30% of U.S. agriculture workers are undocumented immigrants.
So only
we would have no agriculture industry if it weren't for immigration.
Yeah, moving on from immigration,
like all the people that help me to buy farm are white. So okay,
all the people that help on the farms around here, most of them are white.
Apparently, they got some real old geezers that are going down there to the border.
Yeah,
I'm actually kind of curious about I know the state governor, right? The governors can call on the National Guard.
For their own state, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for their own
state.
Well,
they have their own section of the National Guard they can call on. But I don't know if there's any law that limits where they can
send them to other states. I think there's probably something on the books.
Do that.
I don't know. because that would lead to a civil war between two different states if they start
Well, that
sending
did
the
happen.
National Guard.
That did happen,
And,
didn't it? Because the National Guard had to come into was it New Orleans when New Orleans levee broke? And they sent in National Guard from other states then.
Oh yeah, they sent them in to help. But
Yeah, but that was approved by Congress.
Yeah,
that was
which made it constitutional.
That was to stop the
I know there's a good reason for it.
non-white people who were looting. We all know that the white people that were stealing stuff from stores were simply gathering supplies, but the black people, when they did it, it was looting.
I think they were accusing everybody of looting.
Yeah, I think they were.
No, there were news stations that
might be some media coverage which you're reacting to there.
Yeah, they described the people doing the same thing differently. I remember it.
Well, I don't watch TV. I remember the commentators online accusing woke culture of doing it, or like other stand-ins for that. But I don't remember them really ever saying anything about black or white people.
Well, there was a famous photo, if you remember, of the black guy, and he was like knee deep in water, holding like a bucket of Heineken beer, and he had like kind of like crazy hair, and that
a bucket.
Just like
Heineken beer.
Oh my god, I'm excited.
Who buy green bottle beer? Come on.
I don't know if you guys remember that picture, but there are a lot of online news sites that had that photo, and they were talking about people looting, and then there would be other articles. I don't know.
I think it was media driven rather than governmental driven. That.
Oh yeah, it was just.
I don't think it was that they sent the National Guard in to stop certain section of the public looting.
Who said something bad about Heineken?
I don't know. Didn't somebody somebody Photoshop that into?
Who buys green bottle beer? Stop it.
I do. Stop it.
I like
wrong with
Oh my god! I booted him.
I like the mini
Oh my
kegs
God,
that they have.
Heineken is okay. Now you're committing heresy, man.
There's a reason why you put beer in not green bottles.
Why?
Because of the sunlight.
It keeps. Well, it's not just. It's all UV and a few others, but it skunks up the beer, ruins it.
Well, just drink it faster.
Yeah, I guess you have to drink it fast.
Apparently, that's what I like about it. Well, you keep it in the refrigerator. You don't put it out in the fucking sun. What's wrong with you?
You gotta
put it
remember
in the back of your pickup truck. Come on.
Remember that stuff comes from a European nation, right? I mean, they drink it like it's going out of fashion.
Yeah, and there's no sun in Europe.
And there's no sun in Europe, exactly.
Okay, maybe in Europe it's fine.
Especially in Holland.
Hey, Speed, I put a link to my new video. If you could put it in the description, I could give you the link again if you want.
Leo, did you get that question from Andrew? I think he wanted something. Okay,
no, I didn't.
Link. You put a link to what?
To my new video. It's continuing my series about Kent Hovind and exposing the stuff that's going on at DAL.
Okay. And that you put it in public chat?
Yeah, I'll put it in the private chat.
Shit. Public chat went on. Anyway, what are we doing, boys and girls? What are we doing?
You put up this video here.
I did a long time ago, and then we got off.
I don't even think we've played any of it.
No, I haven't heard any of it so far, I don't think.
Oh, reading the charges? That one?
Yeah, reading the charges against Chris Jones, who is currently at Dinosaur Adventureland right now.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so put it in public and private chat.
And
okay.
I put a trigger warning on the video because I read the charges and it's pretty heinous.
Is it? Shit.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Yep. And he's defending that guy. Yeah, I think this will all come back on him eventually. I'll give him 5 years and he's back in prison for something. Yeah. Okay, we're going to play this clip and see what happens. I don't know where the Cerberus thing came.
So we're watching somebody watching one of your videos.
I noticed that. Yeah, we're
watching
reacting the watchers watching. Very nice.
Watching the watchers watching. I think
all that meta is giving me a headache, man.
Oh my god!
Well, look, and it's Danny versus TJump. Anyone want a quick recap? There you go. You're famous, Danny.
TJump almost looks like Trump. Illuminati confirmed. The phrase TJump.
Yes, it does.
Oh,
in that
yeah, there you go.
In
There's
that
a
small
good-
font, because the video is small, it looks like it says Danny versus Trump.
Oh my God, that's the real
Trump would
meaning of
lose
it.
so fucking badly, but that's because he
Yeah.
doesn't know how to form a proper sentence that's coherent.
Well, people like him because he doesn't use a teleprompter for some reason. For some reason, being articulated, knowing what you're saying is somehow a bad thing.
Well, no, the reason is because Trump doesn't. You never notice that Trump will say something, but I'll tell you what, though, the thing that we got to be concerned, and what's up with it? He never finishes a sentence. This is done purposefully. He he speaks the way that he does, leaving all of these gaps so that when people listen, like his cultish like followers, they can fill in all those gaps with their preconceived biases, making it seem like Trump is saying everything that they want to hear without him actually having to say anything at all.
And it makes it harder to fact check him when he never finishes a sentence and makes an actual claim. He just sort of trails off, and that way he obfuscates what he says. That way, when he gets challenged on it, he can backpedal and say that he wasn't actually saying that. He was saying something else.
I would love to just have.
Trump
there you go.
because he is really good at rallies and crowds, and not necessarily the sorts of speeches that you give at the White House, but the sorts of speeches you would give at a rally. He's really good at it, and I think a lot of
So is Bernie Sanders.
But I think
So was Barack Obama.
But
Yeah,
Hillary
yeah.
Clinton isn't, and that was the important thing. I remember when the election was happening in 2016, I felt like one of the reasons I knew Trump would win was just basing it on looking at the subreddit for Hillary Clinton versus the subreddit for Donald Trump and the amount of activity on it. The Hillary Clinton one.
There was no
just a ghost
enthusiasm
town.
for Hillary
There
Clinton.
was no enthusiasm at all, and that's
The only reason Biden won, there was no enthusiasm for Biden either. It's just people. If the COVID-19 pandemic had never happened, Trump would still be the president.
Yeah.
That's the reason why.
What killed me is when I was in Scotland, and this guy was driving us around from Scotland, and that was right before the 2016 election. Before Trump it looked like he actually had a chance, and we were talking about how bad it was that Trump, was even running, and this driver said, "Oh no, this is the greatest, this is the funniest thing ever. It's like you got to keep Trump because we're just having such a good time laughing at the U.S." I mean, everybody thought it was fucking hilarious, until
it wasn't.
Yeah, until
Yeah,
it
well,
wasn't.
I'm an Obama supporter. I think he's probably the brightest president I've seen in America in my lifetime.
Definitely.
But there again, Trump. One thing I'll say for Trump is that he's so mediocre that absolutely fuck all happens.
Yeah, that's true.
Most of what
that's
rolled out
not
of
a bad thing. Just to sit back and just not change too much and let things settle down a little. Actually,
Well, that's one of the
probably been
things-
quite a good thing for the states.
That's
in my
one of the things I
opinion, and
liked
I know
about.
fuck all about it.
That's one of the
Right.
things I liked about Obama in his second term. I mean, he really didn't do a hell of a lot other than keep a lid on shit.
Tried, yeah.
Well, we don't want him to. We don't want presidents.
Yeah,
to
no,
make
we
changes.
did want him to do things, but Republicans obstructed everything he tried to do. Because if a Democrat looks successful, then people be like, "Oh, the Democrats are really getting stuff done. Maybe I should vote for them." And not that the Republicans have been popular for the last 20 years, because they haven't. But yeah, that he never got anything done in his second term because Republicans wouldn't let him.
Well, he was able to kill a lot of people with drone strikes, at least.
Yeah, that is true.
So another
Typical
15
neoliberal.
minutes. Another 15 minutes has gone by and we haven't played this
Maybe
fucking clip yet.
Click the play button.
I'm afraid it's going to be so lame. The reason.
It's sidebar.
Yeah.
I kid you not, but
Beta
putting Brain in the
pudding.
gang are getting dumber by the day.
Yeah.
I mean, today they were going on a tangent about how they did not like being accused of insulting people, and we don't actually insult people; we don't attack people. The title of the freaking stream was "Danny is a weenie." They've been bashing Danny and Sal. The stream the day before was John Maddox is a grifter. The stream before that was
Can I say
another
foreskin?
attack on Sal about lactating breasts. And then, I mean, it's like, and then they were pissed off and claiming that they get attacked.
Okay.
I don't recall bitching. or
I don't
complaining
recall
that I
being
got attacked.
The
Yeah, I
video
don't-
about Sal was not an attack. It was literally responding to an argument of his.
Right, which wasn't a very good argument. But I mean, I can't remember getting pissed off about it.
And I don't recall feeling attacked either.
I clarified yesterday talking about this, if I was on yesterday, that I don't insult people. I try not to call people stupid, attack people's personal appearance, or attack people for traits they have that they can't control or that they were born with. I think, attacking people's arguments and maybe some subtle mockery is okay, but I think that those things are crossing a line, and I think that theists cross that line often.
Yeah, and I cross that line too, and I don't really give a shit. But
I hate to give out your secret, Speed, but how about the times when you make up thumbnails, maybe about Mad X or something, and then we don't even mention them the whole time.
Right, on purpose. Yeah,
yeah, we've done that a few times too.
Yeah.
So,
but the thing is, when he said that, how pissed off we were. That wasn't what we were doing at all yesterday. We were. I wanted to open it up for everybody to comment. Are we doing the right thing? Should we do more science? Should we do more whatever? So, I mean, nobody was pissed off about them saying that we attack people. It's amazing that John Maddox, he almost seems like he's socially inadept. He can't read a room,
Either that or he's deliberately lying about the mood of the room.
Be, yeah.
Push a
can't
narrative.
read a paper either.
Well,
Can't
yeah.
read a paper.
And again, he
Also-
constantly calls people stupid. So
Yeah, he's completely unaware because I've heard on Modern Day Debate, halfway through a debate, him doing exactly what he's complaining about now.
yeah,
And that's on an official debate forum. Right?
Well, he just did it
So-
to Dr. Dan, on that cell stream.
Indeed.
But anyway, I think they attack Cerberus right after they're done with us.
Oh, excellent! Please, let's hear that. Care Bearus.
I think it's Cerberus. Yeah.
It's like we mostly ignore you, and the only real references those clowns get is jokes about how dumb they are.
How dumb they are.
When
I
they
don't know
do
any
those
other-
things that-
Yeah, I think he just contradicted
Like,
himself in one sentence.
Me calling them dumb right now will end up being. They will comment.
It'll be on the
Of course
weather
I'm going to
report.
comment on it.
well, yeah.
It's going to be on the weather report.
I just like how he calls us dumb,
I
but then never
don't
comes
know
in
any of
here to debate or discuss anything with us and show us how dumb we are.
Yeah.
So always commenting. I love it. Everybody's a badass 25 feet away.
Yeah.
Stream that is as dedicated on a consistent basis to attacking individuals. Like I think occasionally, I attack individuals in my stream. I know that y'all do too. I mean, sometimes y'all do it, but
You ever attack me, Danny?
yes, all the time. It's like I was trying to find a video about Sal in the church, and when I was scrolling through Speed's videos, there were like 12 videos that had Sal's face on it.
Nice.
And did you notice that there are about 12 weenies?
There's probably
Yeah,
less
and
memes.
I just want to respond to Leo there. I am a badass, but from 25 feet away, I'm a smaller badass.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Dude, and that's just recently. I mean, they if you go back a year, I mean, it's an every other day thing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And then anytime I ever see Cerberus in a room, I know it's just trolling. It's not legitimate. No
Here we
way.
go.
Yeah, I feel like that sometimes too. When he comes in, you can tell when he snaps on the trolling. He's like serious for maybe about 2 seconds, then he turns it on.
Yep.
And it's just troll mode, which I hate because it's like better, right? And I know you know better, yet you still choose to play around these games and semantics like you don't know any better. It gets kind of annoying, but I still like him as a person. He's still valid.
Ooh.
Yeah. See, I think he's a closet Christian. He just won't say it. But
You see? There it is.
Technically, he has said to me
He's
that
a Christian.
Yeah. Closet Christian. Cerberus, you've been called out, man.
Ooh.
This is true, Cerberus.
I guess I have to believe in Jesus now.
Yeah.
Do you love the baby Jesus?
Yeah.
Walk the green mile, get right with Jesus.
There's only one closet Christian in this room.
Yeah. Yeah. We know who he is. But there.
Excuse
Just
me.
gaslight everyone.
We know who she is.
The
Oh my god.
Daniela.
Oh, okay. So the crazy thing is, all Maddox wants to talk about is atheists and how dumb they are, and and whatever. And then he's talking about how we attack. All we do is attack people. And it's like, okay, here's what I want you to know, John. This is a fucking game that we're playing. And this is the game that we're playing. And you're playing the fucking game too. So, I mean, what is your problem?
Well, he plays it better than most. I mean,
yeah. Anyway,
I've never met anybody. Well, other than Veckel, possibly. I've really not met many people that are much more passive aggressive than.
Let's see. Now, I think in the next session they're going to start listing your address and your crimes. So,
nice.
I don't know, we'll see.
He has told multiple people that he is saved, that no one ever takes his word for it. So I do take him as saved. I just, when he gets like that, I take him that he's, just playing the troll, and I don't like it. Like he's actively playing the devil's advocate, and it's like, yeah, stop that, but you do you at the same time. But yeah, it gets upsetting.
And I have done that.
The debate with TJump. Danny lost. Jump won. Okay. Anyway, so they're going on about the Danny thing. So there was that. Anyway, I wanted to find that. We found it.
I have done that. I used to go around saying, "Okay, I accept Jesus' gift." Now what?
Yeah.
There was never a now what.
So they think you're a closet Christian or whatever. And here's Duncan Dopey or whatever the fuck his name is.
Atheists use that claim. Actually they blamed me, Smokey, and Praise for the reason why they can't become Christian is because of our behavior and stuff.
I wasn't an atheist.
That was just talking.
That was Veckel, I think.
Oh, every time he talks, I lose about 15 IQ points. So excuse me while I go read some more of this quantum mechanics book to bring that back up.
Well, I think that if you watch Smokey's stream talking about Wild Eden the other day, that it's perfectly acceptable to say, based on that, I don't want to be a Christian because if this is how Christians act, then I don't want to be associated with these people.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If there's someone in the back room, I'll bow out. I don't know if Monkey's going to come in.
Yeah, there have been some people trying to get in, but
okay, well, just switch me out because I'm
same here.
But you got to leave, Danny, because if you don't leave, it won't let anybody else in. I have a 10 limit or something.
But that's what he's saying.
Yeah, well, I'm saying that. Look, I'm multitasking. I'm doing other work while I'm listening. So you might as well put me in the back room. If someone
putting you in the back room
isn't going to help.
He would have to physically kick you out of the whole ass studio.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, then whatever.
Yeah. So if you leave, then you'll leave an opening.
Okay.
Well, what do we got? Yeah, we got 10 people. Huh.
Same
Okay.
here, just because I haven't been saying too much.
Yeah, we were gonna try to switch over to some science stuff at some point. Maybe we should do that.
I'm definitely out now.
Instead of doing Dawkins.
I'm entitled, so I'm not leaving.
Oh yeah, you are. Yeah.
I want to stay and ask
Just
them
tell
questions
that-
about
tell
science.
Okay.
Tell that to the Lord on Judgment Day. We'll see how that flies.
This was it.
It's sort of like praise the same thing.
Yep.
That's another point, right? If you get to talk to the Lord on Judgment Day, why can't you just repent then?
Yeah.
And he's a bit of a stickler, isn't he?
Yeah, a little bit.
Anyway, this bullshit about, they get off thinking that we're all going to die and go to hell and whatever and roast in hell forever. And I don't quite understand. I don't know.
No, me neither.
I don't think they understand the initial concept of hell.
I intend to live for eternity. And
Yep.
so far, so good.
Yeah. So Danny, I thought you were going to leave and let somebody else come in.
Just boot him.
Well, I don't know.
I'm a mess right now. But I didn't know someone was going to come in.
Still, why change the habit of a lifetime, Danny?
All right. I'll see y'all later. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Okay.
Anyway, so Andrew and Walker, how do we switch to science from all that? I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I think Andrew was saying something about having a private Philo chat after this stream ends with me and the Johnny G guy from chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if he was wanting to make it like a public stream, but you could ask him.
I can leave this stream open and you guys can private chat afterwards. or whatever you want to do.
I'll ask Andrew. I don't know if he's still listening, but I'll send an email.
Oh, I thought he was still here. He left again?
Well, he left the chat and then he was in the public chat for a bit. I don't know if he's still there.
Yeah, because there's a slot open for him now if he wants to come back in. So, anyway, what was I going to do?
You know what? Speed, you're a slot. You're so slotty.
I am a slotty. Yeah, I'm slotty. Oh, I know what I was going to do. I was going to share this.
On this channel, we do not endorse slot shaming. So you're just going to have to back off.
All slots are just like everybody else.
Oh.
And Andrew's back.
Don't know what you got against gambling, but oof.
Andrew's back.
Yeah, he's in chat again. Said he's there.
I'm glad that you not fully evaporate away, Andrew. He just kind of uncouples his particles and disappears.
Yeah, unentangles probably.
So this paper came up yesterday. Extracellular membrane vesicles and nanotubes in archaea.
Oh, don't say nanotubes. You'll call good old Maddox over here.
He likes nanotubes?
I guess so. Heard him use the word enough times.
Yeah. Yep. Anyway, I have not looked at this paper yet. It's a brand new paper, and who gave it to me yesterday? It was Nestleg, I think, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was Nestleg. But this is more interesting clues about the how the nucleus evolved, which is very interesting to me. Along with now mammary glands, which I'm very interested in. Haven't been interested in those for quite a while.
Oh dear.
Anyway, so, no, I won't talk about that. Anyway, breast cancer is the thing that it's an amazing thing. Breast cancer is sort of a side effect of that whole breastfeeding thing, and how it happens is really kind of interesting, and it can happen fairly easily. It's kind of tragic to people that die from this stuff. But I had a friend that went through that stuff, so but she survived. Anyway, but that was the last time I was really interested in studying the anatomy of breasts. When I met my friend when we were 11. Anyway, okay, membrane bound.
You're doing a lot of sinning today.
I know, I am.
What is going on? You just
okay.
got lost. All
I'm
lost.
a bad influence, obviously.
Wow.
I was so my best friend today. My best friend today. I met her in sixth grade when we were 11, and she was the first girl who got breasts. And so every guy in the class paid attention to her. And later on, I figured out that may have been the reason. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Have you seen that episode of South Park Speed where
yeah, I did. Yes,
and all the boys.
That was amazing.
Yeah,
but that brought me That brought me right back to sixth grade because that really fucking happened to me. That episode was right out of real life, right? It's like, God, we took notice. It's like, wow, there's something about her.
Did a report on how awesome Bebe is.
Yeah,
it was amazing. Anyway, but it's a sad fact that we're so driven by our biology, right? Maybe, I don't know. It's kind of cool.
Well, yeah, it's not amazing, but I suppose it is if you're a theist, but it's not amazing to me. I mean, that's...
Well, I think the most amazing thing, and something that most men don't even know about themselves, is that I think we are primarily driven by romance rather than sex. And
I agree with that.
But it's definitely sexual in nature, biologically, but it manifests itself as us falling in love like crazy. I mean, we fall in love hard. And that's also tragically one of the reasons why violence often erupts from that sort of situation. So I mean, it's all it's all just a thicket.
I learned the word for that a while back. Is limerence. Have you ever heard of that word? Limerence?
No.
Kind of an obsessive It's an obsessive infatuation with somebody, and it's Yeah, I thought limerence meant like you liked limericks or something, but no, limerence is kind of the word for that. You're just falling head over heels and gifting like crazy and making all of these huge efforts to show the lady or guy, I guess, that or other lady, and you know what I mean, for everybody.
They've got a modern term for it.
That they're important to you, and 6 months later, you could be wondering why in the hell you ever saw anything in her.
Got a modern term for it. It's called simping.
Simping. Oh my God. Okay, but I'd get a crush on a girl, and I'd be just totally. I mean, it'd be like I had flu. I was totally fucked up, and I was having all these fantasies, right? And you would think the fantasies would be about sex, but they never were. It was about taking her skiing, or all this bullshit. It was all like romantic, weird stuff. And I realized that, hey, I am not the pig I thought I was, or that they told me I was. That most of the stuff I'm thinking about doing with this woman is talking to her, looking into her eyes, having dinner with her, all this, real, I don't know, kind of innocent shit.
No, see,
Speed, do you like gladiator movies?
What's a gladiator
Movie.
Oh, you mean where they kill each other?
Gladiator movies, yeah. What about, have you ever been to a Turkish bath?
No.
Okay. Just checking. Just
okay, no.
Is this an airplane reference?
So
yes, it is. Correct.
See, Speed, I have all those same dreams, but we're doing all those things while we're having sex.
Oh yeah, okay, well, yeah. Well, the thing is that sex is
you guys are nuts. I'm just gonna say this because.
Okay. What do you got to say? You got to say something.
No, I understand what you're saying, but once I got out of a certain grade, I gave all that up, and it was the other way around,
Oh, but sex is kind of a side effect of that romantic attraction to each other. I mean, it becomes a side effect, and when you think about it, animals don't know that they're going to have sex, right? I mean, they don't think about sex. They just do it, and so what are the emotions that drive them to do it? And in primates or us human beings, hominids, the emotion that drives us to do it is that romantic infatuation. And then we end up sleeping together, and then shit happens, right? So it's really kind of cool that sex is like a side effect of something that's a hell of a lot more innocent. And I think males should embrace that. So I went around and I interviewed my son's friends, who was kind of my peer group is my son's friends. So I interviewed a bunch of them and asked them the same questions. What do you think about when you have a crush on a girl? And they're like, oh, the way she talks and, the way she twitches her nose or whatever the fuck. It was never, a fantasy about having sex with her. In fact, the more seriously that they fell in love, the less sex became the main point of it. It was more about mating. It was about that long-term relationship where you form a bond and you end up having children and protecting them and all of that. So I think humans are really cool in that respect. I don't know. I just think males sometimes get a harsher rap than they deserve. I mean, if you actually start interviewing people about what they're thinking, when they actually have that crush feeling, you'll find something very different than what you suspected. So anyway, I don't know.
I find it difficult to be romantic with a woman if I don't want to fuck her brains out.
Yeah, but
I'm the opposite.
Okay, if it happens to you again, try to check into the subjective landscape of what you're feeling and what the tapestry of what's happening. And certainly sex is going to be there because it's on your mind and you've been trained to think that you should do that, right? All males want to, they basically want to have sex with as many women as they can, whatever. That bullshit. But that bullshit aside, there's something else beneath, just under the surface, that you'll find is the subjective experience of mating, and it's very different.
Sex is overrated, in my opinion.
I don't think sex is overrated, underrated, or rated. It's just sex. Like
for one thing,
I will say this, Pete, is that
blowjobs are better.
I will say this, Speed, is that I don't find women that aren't intelligent sexy.
Yeah, there you
I'm
go.
a sapiosexual too.
There you go.
But
That's
I do like, nice legs, nice ass, nice tits.
Nice feet.
Preferably all together.
Those are, I think, in some ways secondary for me. At least to an extent. For me, it's hard. I define it much like an iceberg, where the physical attributes of a woman are like what you see if you're on a ship. That's everything that's above the surface. That's what initially draws you in. And then once you get there, there's so much more there beneath the surface, and you just want to dive in and explore every crack and crevice. That's the way I characterize it for me.
Not really, but yeah. Okay.
Well, that's why I said that's the way I characterize it for me. I'm not subscribing this to anybody else.
It's all great until they want to go to brunch with their friends, then it's awful.
I have no idea. I don't even know what that means.
It means they want to pay $20 for eggs. That's what.
That's what it means.
They want to get drunk at 10 a.m. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's all a plot to get us to take them shopping, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I go shopping with my ex-wife like once a week, and it's always a wonderful experience.
Yeah, I got a wallet for my birthday present that has ATM stitched in it.
Wow. Yep.
Yeah. I don't have a card anymore. She won't let me. She won't let me carry it around with me.
Just as well. I wish I had somebody to take my cards away from me, particularly my Amazon Prime one-click.
I just wanted to say really quickly, I am 4 subscribers away from 500. So if you are not subscribed, even if you hate my guts, you should subscribe just to be a subscriber. Twitter doesn't have subscribers. Twitter has followers.
Oh. I just unsubbed Leo.
Yeah.
You're 5 away. Yeah.
I'm almost to 400.
All of our channels are kind of close because mine's at 439 and Speed's 427. So
yeah, mine has stagnated completely. I mean, I've had 3 in the last 28 days. In the 28 days prior, I had like 60 or 70. So
three subscribers.
Was it the
28 days?
I get about 3 a day.
I think it was. Yeah. I was getting about 3 a day all last month, and then all of a sudden it just hit a wall. I can't. Go ahead.
I get like 50 to 100 when I upload a video. It's just the problem is I only upload one every 2 months.
Yeah. That's what happens.
I don't give a shit because they're all men anyway, so don't fuck them out.
The
Anyway,
problem, Speed, is we need to get you more exposure. We need to get you on MDB and a bunch of other platforms.
Oh God, the pain.
Exactly.
Going on MDB.
Exactly.
James has not invited me back since my first debate. I feel very used.
James doesn't typically do too much inviting. It's more other people set it up and you ask James if you can host it.
Oh, I see. Well, James had me fill in for a debate when Ken Hovind had to cancel. He asked me last minute to fill in, and then I haven't been on since then.
I was on Modern Day Debate once.
From my first... Wait, no, that would have been my... Wait, no, April... Yeah, it was like 3 months between my first and second debate, and then another 3 months between my second and third, I think. Wait, no. I don't even know. Was my debate with Roberts and Janice my third or fourth? Because my first 2 were with Otangelo.
Oh my God.
Are you going to debate Church of Entropy?
Yes, I am.
Oh my God, no.
Wait, who is this person?
She's the one that recently debated TJump on consciousness on Modern Day Debate. That one.
Really?
The photon coupling, waveform fields, Rama Rama Ding Dong, and a partridge in a pear tree. It's just Deepak Chopra style mysticism is all it really is.
Yeah.
Is it like New Age mysticism or Christian mysticism?
Deepak Chopra style panpsychism, pantheism, stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And she says the Big Bang is not scientific, and that's the topic of our debate on Amy's channel.
Yeah.
This coming Tuesday, it's a later debate, so I'm not expecting actually a lot of people to be there. It's 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But the topic is the Big Bang scientific?
Is her what's the reasoning behind her name, the Church of Entropy?
That's a good
What is it
question
a
for her.
reference to? Okay.
She doesn't know what it means.
She's
Oh man, Walker, if you go to her site and start reading some of the papers and stuff, your head will just start spinning and it won't stop for like 8 hours. It's just like, holy shit.
She does have like two bachelor's degrees. I think one in physics
Yeah.
and one in mathematics. I'm not so uncharitable to assume that she's just completely incompetent. I think she knows a lot of the stuff that she's saying is really, 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 really out there and really isn't substantiated, and just says it anyway for the clout and everything you can get by stirring up that pot. It's the same reason why people like Deepak Chopra, and I even think Michio Kaku. Michio Kaku isn't like a one of these mysticism scientists, but I call him more of a science popularizer rather than not even that. Than a science communicator, because a lot of the stuff he says really isn't said the best way, and I often think it's done purposefully. He's one of the few scientists that will still go on Ancient Aliens. Like a lot of them, Sean Carroll and all that, they won't go on that show anymore. He still will.
Yeah, I think it's done purposely as well. But
wow, I made 430 subscribers
for a slightly different reason. Which is, if I don't know, I read his thesis when he did his PhD. I don't know.
Leo, I think you broke Andrew.
That is extremely interesting, and I would recommend reading that. But much after that, I think he didn't get the take up that he was hoping for, and he became more of a popularizer in the sense of.
Oh shit! Sorry, guys.
Just like I think the reason that so many people thought that string theory was like this fact of reality was because of him. String theory came around originally in like the 60s, 70s. It's never been popular amongst theoretical physicists. It's never, not once has it ever been popular. We've tried to tease some facts of reality out of it, but it's never been like theoretical physicists have never been like, yeah, this is probably the answer. No,
yeah, but it's so
never
pretty.
been the case. I actually don't think that it is.
I think it's.
I think it's an absolute mess.
The way M theory is, I don't know whether you would consider M theory string theory or not.
That's why
it's a form of.
It's an incredibly elegant mathematical.
Well, mathematically elegant, physically not so much.
PBS Space Time, they did 2 videos on string theory. They did one why string theory is right, and then why string theory is wrong.
Yeah,
which I thought was pretty funny.
Well, I mean, it's, as I say, it's a very complete theory, and it certainly does what it says on the tin in terms of reconciling relativity and quantum mechanics.
Yeah, I don't think there's a better.
The issue is that it's unfalsifiable, so it's never going to rise to the level of an actual, theoretical.
Parts of it are unfalsifiable, but there are also other parts of it that are falsifiable, and all of those parts have essentially been falsified. Like one of the biggest things is it posited in order for it to work, there had to be like 10 or 11 dimensions, including the 4 that we already have. Any physical model that goes more than or less than, generally just more than the 4 dimensions we have, it fails immediately. We have absolutely no idea how to take that and apply it to reality. So what did they do? They said, oh, well, those dimensions are all wrapped up at a level that's sub-quantum and we'll never be able to measure it. So it was a way of just getting rid of the dimensions in order to rescue the idea, even though it said the dimensions also have to be there. That's one of the biggest reasons why I'm not going to accept string theory. Also, it's not accurate. It doesn't describe our reality. It just doesn't.
Leo, do you see the no direction? He's offering $500. That would be
what you guys should do anyway is donate money to Same You. That's what you should donate. That's what y'all should be doing right now. I don't care if it's a nickel. I don't care if it's 500 grand. But go to the website. I just linked.
I would certainly guarantee.
Donate.
I certainly think you should read Mikhail Koku's thesis, because that was on 11-dimensional mathematics. And
yeah, I probably wouldn't be interested. I'm not interested in string theory.
Well, there we go then.
Oh, can you?
I'm interested in
probably why you don't
ideas.
get the idea about 11-dimensional space. So.
Well, 11-dimensional space doesn't work. It doesn't.
Sure, I assure you think it doesn't, but
well, no, it doesn't. I'm not
saying
this. I'm saying what the physicists say.
Yeah, but if you read his thesis, Right, you may come up with an alternative idea about it.
So, Simon,
Probably not.
can you give me a link to that thesis?
I don't know. I've had the book in the 80s. So
This is a PhD dissertation, not a reputed scientific paper, so I don't really have an interest in reading it.
Or at least write his name with the proper spelling in side chat. So,
Well, I know that a lot of people, they don't think that like the multiverse idea is true, but I know that if you take if you assume a multiverse is true and then you go from there, there are a lot of ways that it makes dark matter work that don't work in our current model. So I think that might be one way.
I would be curious to see those models. I haven't heard of any multiverse models that solve dark matter.
I'll look that up because I was watching a video where Sean Carroll talks about this, so I'll see if I can find that video.
Nobody brought up Andrew's debate coming up, right? Did anybody mention that? Andrew's debating Neffy, right? On Saturday night.
Oh, God, why? This Saturday night?
Yep.
That absolutely terrible debate. That we're gonna on the 3rd of. Nah, I won't. I probably won't be watching. I know I won't be watching it. I'll probably be drunk. I would have scheduled it for after this weekend.
You can't get drunk and watch it? Why not?
No, I'm not going to sit there when I'm around like 13 people and watch a fucking debate, dude. Why would I do that?
Just sneak off into the bathroom. You didn't mention the 13 people.
I don't want to watch.
All you said was get drunk
on the Saturday. If it was on another weekend or another day, I would love to watch it, but not on the 4th of July weekend. I might.
By the way, guys, channel announcement. I believe I am taking next week off. No weather reports.
Wait, so
have a great holiday. Have a great holiday.
What are you going to be doing next? Are you going somewhere, or are you just taking a week off for
a little of everything. I got some medical stuff. I got some relatives, and I have spent 40 hours programming on a project. So
do you have to have a job again?
It's not a job. I don't get paid for it, but I'm doing it.
Oh,
I'll
is it
talk
related
to you
to
about,
YouTube? Okay,
I can tell you about it backstage. But
go for it. Yeah. Wait, so what's the topic of Andrew and Neffy's debate?
Whistling.
Common ancestry, I believe. I think
geological geological columns, maybe.
Yeah, geological columns. Yeah. And
where are they debating at?
It's phylogeny, isn't it? That's what he always wants to talk about.
What platform is it on?
SFTs.
So Nephilim was going on about how, rocks, they break unless they're heated to 500 degrees or more. And it's like, okay, does Nephilim know about what the temperatures are underneath mountains and things like that?
No, it's the simple answer. I debated him quite a few years ago, and he said pressure and temperature were unrelated.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay.
And there are rocks that are flexible enough to bend without breaking. They're rare, but they do exist.
And I think over time, if you put a weight on each side of even, like a slab of granite, over time, may take 100 years. It'll bend slowly, as long as you don't put enough weight on it to break it.
Yeah, I mean, over geological time, that's the whole point behind like plate tectonics. We have the mantle, which is a solid, on top of the asthenosphere, which is also a solid, but it acts as a liquid.
Yeah.
Over a long enough time.
So,
Andrew says it's on common ancestry. So.
Okay.
Okay.
That'll be fun.
I want to give people a point of view of Neffy here, because I don't think people really understand Neffy that well. I had an interaction with Neffy years ago, where a guy named Jello Shots told Neffy that I was a Mason, and he freaked out and started yelling about Masonic magic, and I said ooh, like making ghost noises in the microphone.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to read your mind, and I said, you live near a school, and he screamed and then kicked me out of the room.
That's because he doesn't know anything about anything. I've known him since 2015. I couldn't tell you how many discussions I've had with him, especially on Pal Talk. He literally doesn't have even a middle school understanding of science. He was going off one day about like chemistry and elements and stuff like this, and it must be God. This, and I said, nephew, what's an isotope? And he couldn't tell me what an isotope was. I had no idea how to define that word.
I don't think I could give you a good definition off the top of my head, honestly.
So Walker, are you going to have a live stream, or what are you guys going to do?
No, he said he just wanted to have a private talk, which is chill.
Well, do you-
So we're just gonna have a private talk
Okay.
about
Wait,
phylogenetics.
but what is an isotope, though?
An isotope is an atom of the same element, but with a differing number of neutrons. So
Yeah,
a
so it's different
proton and an
molecular weight.
electron is hydrogen. A proton, a neutron, and an electron is hydrogen. A proton, a neutron, and an electron is still hydrogen. Those are all three different isotopes of hydrogen. And then eventually you start putting enough neutrons on there, it becomes radioactive and undergoes radioactive decay.
Yeah.
It's a same topy. Same topy.
It's the same number of protons. Have you ever seen the periodic table and it has have you ever noticed that it has integer values for the molecular weight, but it's always close to an integer?
Yeah.
That's because essentially if you had just protium or a hydrogen ion or a hydrogen atom that was just one proton, its molecular weight would be exactly 1 gram per mole. And then when you have deuterium, which is deuterium, sorry, a hydrogen, or it's a proton and a neutron, that would be a molecular weight of 2. And so when you have the molecular weight on the periodic table, that's just an averaging of all the different isotopes based on the composition. Usually you'll have some that are radioactive, so they'll be appearing in less or they won't appear in as high of a frequency.
Yeah, you've heard of before. Think like carbon-14, right? That's an isotope of carbon.
Yeah, as opposed to carbon-12, which is the most common one.
Yeah.
Deuterium, that's heavy water, right?
Deuterium is the second isotope of hydrogen. Protium, deuterium, tritium, and I think after that they become radioactive.
I thought deuterium and tritium were already radioactive.
Well, I don't think deuterium is. Tritium, I think I think tritium is radioactive. I don't know if deuterium is. I'm not going to say that it's not. I don't know. It very well could be.
That's fair.
What was I going to say? I don't even remember.
I can't find anything on Michikaku except for pop stuff,
Oh, I was about to say, you can't find anything on Michio Kaku? Dude, he's everywhere.
Well, except for pop stuff on 11 dimensions. I can't find a thesis or a paper. Google Scholar, maybe. Maybe
look on Big Think.
He's actually one of the co-founders of string theory, right? That's what he claims, right?
Michio Kaku? I don't know.
He said
Let
that.
me check.
He's like a co-founder, like he did it with other people. Basically, come up with that.
There were like 3 guys, and I don't think he's one of them.
Well, the earliest ones that worked on the earliest formations of it would have been Pierre Ramond, Andre Nevieux, and John Schwarz, and Joel Shirk. I know Leonard Susskind helped develop it. I'm not saying Michio Kaku wasn't. I haven't.
Said it.
I've heard him advocate for it, but I've never heard him as one of the people who helped develop it.
Yeah, I never looked it up, but he said
came
it
up with the
himself.
maths
So.
for the 11th dimension version.
Yeah.
But also Gelmond is, of course, one of the ones that unified string theory, going back into probably the 80s, again, early 80s maybe. And again, I think it was about 82 that Kaku wrote his thesis.
I have a book by the 2 guys, I think, that originally came up with it and promoted it, but I can't remember their names.
I just gave the names of the people.
Oh, but I wasn't listening. I was looking at Google Scholar.
Pierre Ramond, Andre Nevieux, John Schwarz, and Joel Shirk.
Yeah, Schwartz and Green was the other one. Schwartz and Green.
Brian Green is a string theorist, but he's
Brian Green.
Yeah, but he
Isn't
didn't develop it. I don't think.
Isn't the phrase string theory another example of how science sometimes is inconsistent? I mean, because it's not a theory; it's a hypothesis.
Well, it's not a scientific theory; it's mathematical.
It's not even a hypothesis. It's a model.
Well, I would argue it's a physical hypothesis. It hypothesizes a particular structure for reality. It's a mathematical theory and a scientific hypothesis.
Yeah, I guess that's true because quantum mechanics is obviously part of a scientific thing, but it's definitely built on mathematics.
as all physics is.
That's true.
Naturally.
So how much I got to pay to get out of here? Shoot her in the head?
Yeah.
50, about 350.
350. Okay, you got it. I'll
Right, I think it might be
Venmo that to you. Huh?
Okay.
I'm not certain, but I'm just looking through the books to see if I can.
Introduction to Super Strings by.
It might be Hyperspace was the book I'm thinking of. I'm not certain because in the one I had, it didn't have that cover.
By the way, this just in on Myth Vision YouTube channel. There's an interview with Graham Oppie on why atheism is the best
thing ever.
Or why atheism makes more sense.
Where is this at? And with who?
Myth Vision with Derek Lambert. Myth Vision podcast.
Is this a debate or just a discussion?
It's a discussion.
Okay.
Okay. On that, we're going to wrap it up.
It's not that one.
We're going to shoot it in the head, Simos.
Yeah, no problem. I will think of a line.
Okay.
And I'm ordering a Baconator.
So anyway,
Don't tell my kid.
I'm going to have snow crab tonight. There you go.
Sounds fancy.
Very nice.
Okay. Goodbye, cruel world.